why Solved? Why did you two decide to work together and do something different?
Once you get stuck into politics, there's so many things that you can't do. And I wanted to always do what is right for the clients, which is ultimately what's right for the end users. And I couldn't find any decent big companies that had the same kind of drive and the same passion for doing those things. That's what we wanted to do. But one day it kind of like all came together, and it said like, why don't we do this together? Because we know what good looks like. We know how to do outcome driven stuff. We could create this team that we always wished was around, but it isn't. So why don't we create it?
When you wake up in the morning, who are you excited to work with that you're delivering for at the moment, or that you've worked with over the last few years?
That's a good question. I would say all of them, because we are very careful about who we choose to work with. So we only kind of work with some of the, let's say, the bigger global brands who wants to do things differently and do things in a way that they can't normally do it themselves.
I would say that we're extremely lucky that all of our clients, with some exceptions over the years, but mostly all of our clients have been incredibly supportive and trusting of what we do. So because we've fostered this expectation, attitude and culture, that it's really, which is really based around kind of mutual respect, understanding, empathy, and, just trying to do the right thing.
So if you had a blank page and you were trying to design the perfect candidate to join Solved together tomorrow, who do you think they would be? What would they have? What do they excel at? What's their personality like, Morten?
So the people that join Solved are the people who have the same ability to analyze complex information and come up with what is the best-in-class visionary solution that's really going to change things. And then who also have the structure of mind to actually be able to work backwards and find out, how do we build this thing that doesn't exist?
The theoretical knowledge from like Brian Cox, you need to have some relationship with learning, development, understand how it works, some experience of internal. When you're speaking to clients, you understand what are we actually trying to achieve. The cool brazenness of like Stormzy. So we had this be like Stormzy value for ages, which is we want to challenge the status quo. We want to do the right thing. We want to push back against authority if it doesn't make sense, and just try and be a little bit different. And then you probably want a bit more sort of design creativity, so like a bit of a Steve Jobs type, so visionary, creative, doing interesting things. But then you want the Morten Bond of the structure and process and planning and all those things that need to make it all work.
I feel like Charlie thinks, Morten, you're the sort of guy who schedules laughter on a Saturday from 4:10 to 4:17. Finding the right people is hard. Keeping them is even harder. What on earth is Operation Honey Badger, Charlie?
Operation Honey Badger is a really cool name for something that is actually quite boring.
Basically, ouch! No way. We have changed how we operate, how we pay. So our pay is a lot more competitive, probably than it used to be. We are doing 9-day fortnights, whilst every other company we know of is still working full time. We got flexible time. We invite people to London to the office 1 day a week. The rest of the time they can work from anywhere. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so as you become partner in Solve, we give away share options and things like that. And so Honey Badger is a way of structuring the business and planning the strategy to both grow, but also enable us to do some of those things as well.
Charlie, there's this ongoing debate that bigger is better or boutique has the biggest impact, and Solved is obviously a really burgeoning, growing, but still really small enterprise. Why does that make you guys really special to work for?
I think the reason I like it is because everybody in the team has to be capable of knowing more or less at some level everything else that everybody's doing. So it means we have incredible depth in terms of our capability, but also incredible breadth. That's why I think being smaller can be more impactful.
If Solved Together was a movie, what movie would it be?
Thelma and Louise.
Go on, why?
No, I think there's something around the passion and conviction that we're doing the right thing. We're not going to change. We're not going to warp into something that we are not. We've really built on some really strong values about what right is, and we apply them to everything we do. So Charlie gets to drive the car. I have no driver's license.
I am telling you now, that is your best answer so far by a mile, Morten. Brilliant.
I'm trying to think of a single film.
Don't worry, Charlie. We'll shorten this in the edit.
Yeah.
We won't.
It's Charlie trying to think of a film for 5 minutes.
Remember, folks, at Solve Together, you get decisive action that changes businesses, teams, and organizations.